Silver has been making headlines over the course of the last week, becoming the latest target of the Reddit trading community, or so it seems. This is a community that has bid up numerous stocks in the US in particular, and caused a bit of frenzy in the markets really since early on in the year. Now that appears to have eased off somewhat, and silver was an unlikely target for the crowd over the course of the last week, but we did see the price of silver bid up quite significantly, around 25% at one stage, but already we have seen that ease off quite considerably. In fact, it's actually reversed pretty much all of the gains since it became a target a little over a week ago. And I say unlikely target because a number of the stocks which the crowd were previously targeting were quite low volume stocks, heavily shorted stocks, and it seems that the choice of silver came out of nowhere. There's obviously a lot of disagreement at this point as to whether this was something that was actually chosen by the community at large because it's such an unusual choice. You could say this is a heavily liquid market, a much larger market than what had previously being focused on as well. And maybe that's one of the reasons why we have seen it reverse course so quickly. The returns have not been nearly as large as what we were seeing elsewhere a couple of weeks ago, and maybe the disagreement in the community has contributed to the declines and the move back to the original price as we have seen. Now, as far as the actual outlook for silver is concerned, it doesn't really dramatically change anything for silver. We are still seeing some upside pressures building and have been now for a number of months, but as with gold, it is considerably exposed to the movements of the US dollar. Now, what's interesting here is that the US dollar has broken key resistance. Now, whether it can maintain that breakout is one that we're going to have to continue to watch. But gold obviously has had quite a torrid 9 or 10 months, and it broke back towards multi-year lows, but it did seem to find a bottoming pattern. And what we've actually seen form over the course of the last few weeks is an inverse head and shoulders pattern with the neckline at 91 in the dollar index, and it actually broke through here just yesterday. Now the question is whether it can hold above these levels, and if it can hold above these levels, then that could be very bullish for the US dollar in the near term, provide the possibility for some other currencies to pare back some of the significant gains which we have seen, but put pressure on commodity prices, which have largely been buoyed by the weaker greenback. Now, what this means as far as silver is concerned is when we're looking at key support levels, the one that really stands out is $25. This is where we can see the combination of the 55 and 89 day simple moving averages. It also where it comes into contact with the rising trend line and prior support and resistance. So this is the one that really stands out for me here. Should we see a break for this, it could, you would expect, coincide with a continuation of the US dollar breakout and provide near-term and even medium-term challenges for as far as silver and other precious metals and commodities are concerned. And the level that really stands out below then is $22. This is where we've got the combination of the 200, 233 day simple moving average bands. Again, looking back at the chart, you can see longer term support and resistance around these levels. Again, I mean, this would still leave silver at elevated levels. This is something that has done extremely well and could continue to do well really in the longer term. I still think many people view the US dollar is going to continue to face difficulty in the medium term during the economic recovery. But given how far it's fallen, I think a slight retracement is potentially on the cards, and maybe the breakout of 91 in the US dollar index is a sign that we are going to start seeing that now. And as I say, that is down, so that does create downside potential as far as these precious metal markets are concerned. So while silver has been making headlines in the news, that seems to be passing right now. So we have to switch our attention back to the fundamentals. And at this particular moment, I think the key fundamental to keep an eye out for in silver is that US dollar move.